people, majority who are women, have been forced to migrate and traffic into over 200 countries.
May I ask you something?
Yeah.
I say you want to stop violence against women. I agree with that, but everywhere. I mean, how are we going to achieve everywhere? I wonder.
I mean, are you filming this?
Yeah, you don't mind it, right?
What's it for? I just want to know.
Just for myself. I'm just curious about these issues. I mean, you're here to spread the word, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so I mean, basically, if I were protesting something, I wouldn't care. I mean, who is shooting it for? The more people know the issues, the better.
No, I'm not arguing with that. I'm just saying, I think it's fair to ask.
Sure.
I think the idea of everywhere, yeah, it's a big idea, but why would you stop at one place?
I'm a practical man. So, everywhere sounds like the whole world.
Yes.
Okay, that's a great idea, but how? I mean, where do you think that oppression is the worst?
I don't think that's really the point of what we're trying to say, is identifying where it's the worst or something of that nature. I think it's about recognizing struggles internationally. I think it's about supporting those struggles with our own work and with our recognition of that work.
Look, I'm a businessman, okay? So I would presume that when we approach something, be it businessman or be it just a rational, logical person, the resources are always limited. That's why I think it'll make sense, like in any business, to find the bottleneck, find where, let's say, there are the worst abuses of women, and start there. Would it make sense? Because you can't do it everywhere in one shot. I mean, you have to prioritize, no?
I think part of what we're trying to do is stay connected to the community that we're within.
But it's a generic word, specifically. I mean, with all due respect, specifically, you have a point. I agree with that. I'm against violence against women. I mean, I'm 100% with you. But practically, how can you do it practically? What's step one, step two? What's the plan? Where do you start? How do you proceed? How would you measure success?
They just right now. That's why I was saying if they hire so people can smell.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Hey, John. Hey.
I was like, where do I go?
So if you have your chance, please look up number 1, and then we'll be singing this as we head to the private circle chapter.
Somebody took like 15 maybe.
So do you mind helping me, or you're not kind of interested in doing the conversation?
I'm done, thank you.
You're done. All right, all right.
Please, that girl struggles to get out of bed every day. She does struggle.
Outside of the United States, fighting for their lives, fighting for their livelihoods. That's serious shit. That is some serious shit, in case we didn't know that. And so, when we talk about women's rights and the fight against violence against women, we cannot deny the conversation around political violence, because it is political violence that has assassinated women in struggle. I like to remember, particularly as a woman from the Dominican Republic, the story of the Mirabal sisters, who fought against the dictatorship, who were brutalized, tortured, women like them who were raped in prison. That is part of the violence against women. But we seem to forget that sometimes here, when the only discourse is around violence against women and domestic violence. We need to make connections, because one thing is not disconnected from the other. We have systems of oppression that are patriarchal based, that are based on patriarchy. And it is that patriarchy, that male supremacy that allows for abuse against women, for violence against women, for rape of our women to be justified. I have the crazy idea that we should be boycotting CNN, that we should be boycotting Fox 5, that we should be boycotting all those media outlets that continue to justify violence against women and also violence against nations outside of the United States. I stand here in the spirit of my Venezuelan comrades today. The women who have been at the center of the Bolivarian revolution. The women who have stood up and have been participating in creating laws and systems that could move onward a revolution that is socialist and feminist. I am with those women. I am with the women in Cuba who represent a great number of the leadership. And if we cannot acknowledge that, if we cannot acknowledge those struggles as struggles that are human struggles in the context of human rights, then we might as well be playing ourselves. Because if we don't make the connections, this movement to end the violence against women won't move forward. Who will let that happen? Who will let that happen? No. Will we let that happen? No. Say it like you mean it. Will we let that happen? No. Women's rights are under attack. What do we do? Stand up, fight back. What do we do? Stand up, fight back. What do we do? Stand up, fight back. Let us build bridges of solidarity that cross the oceans. Let us unify our voices. This is a human rights struggle, men and women. This is not about women's issues, it's about human rights. And if we can't defend that, then we might as well not be alive. Peace, y'all.